Hi girls! So today I'm going to talk about what my girlfriends went through when they're dating online. So one of my girlfriends just told me this past weekend we were actually having a girls' night, a small group of us, and then she was telling me, now this girl is pretty. Really pretty, really smart, self-made, and she was telling me that she was getting like pictures on her cell phone, not through online dating webs, that these guys, they're sending them her pics of like just a body shot of like their six packs, or you know, and the one of the pictures she went like this. And I don't know if this is a universal sign language or something, but you know, I'm Chinese. I'm from Taiwan. My parents are from China. She's Chinese from mainland China. And then, so I know what she meant when she went like this. I don't know about my other girlfriends who weren't Chinese descendants. I don't know if they know what it means. But I was like, oh, do you mean like, and she was like, what do you say that? How do you say that in English when you're not saying it, you know, the anatomically correct, like, you know, nicknames? And I goes like, Little John. And then so she's like, yeah, so she sent me a picture of that. And then I go, how did you respond? And she's like, I didn't respond because I don't know how to respond. And I was like, girl. I was like, I would have responded like, that's not impressive, you should keep it to yourself. Or, and then I was giving her a lot of examples and she was like, how did you, like, how come you come up with this with such a quick response? And I was like, you know, the thing is, I haven't encountered it, so I was like, maybe I would be like her if I didn't if I encountered it. But after I read this book, I was telling them like, haven't you guys read this book? And I was like, we were talking really loud, and I suddenly go, have you read this book? And they go, what book? And I go, you know, Mellow. And the waiter came over and was like, is everything okay? And I'm like, fine. So it was kind of funny, and I noticed our waiter, he was a guy, he was like eavesdropping our conversation. I think he can tell we're having a really good time and talking about dating. And he was a guy, and he's like, he walked by and goes, I don't have a six-pack too. So it was kind of funny. But this book it tells you how to not be a doormat. And basically it tells you a lot of ways of dealing with either how to respond to guys that have potential and you're trying to discover if he really is your I don't want to say Prince Charming again, because my girlfriend and I were talking that day about like, you know, she had so many guys that she dated that she thought was Prince Charming. And, you know, they pull up in a really good car, and then like they opened the door for her, they had all the etiquette, and then she found out that he was cheating on his wife with her, and she was like the mistress or something. And then she was like, and I was telling her, and I was telling a couple of my friends that Disney movie really ruined a lot of her. I think girls in our generation, like, we think we need to, like, we think what Prince Charming should be like. But this book tells you about how to date in our reality. And so there was one section, I was telling them the reason I have these quick respond was because I read this part where it says comparison. Oh, it says comparison between doormat girl and dream girl. So here's I put it in the purple section. Like, so she, in this book, she has a lot of these table, like what a good girl thinks, which is, I think, our generation who has been so influenced by Disney movie, like, you know, Sleeping Beauty, you're like sleeping on your bed waiting the prince to come get you, you know, or is that Snow White? I think that's both. So it's like, it says, I'm not enough versus I'm enough, take it or leave it. So this book tells you how, you know, there's like, I feel like there's also always like dual or sometimes three voices inside you struggling. So there's your head and there's your heart. And then there's the other one I want to call like the emotional one, meaning like the one that, you know, I think the heart is like you're kind of running towards the guy, and then the emotional one is that you're really afraid to get hurt, and then the logical one is like, are you guys compatible in life? Like, is your IQ compatible? Can you live, you know, long term together? So This book tells you, so here's an example. One says, she calls him often and says, please return my call. That's the doormat girl response. The what she labels as the book, but it's really the strong girl's voice, is that she gets back to him when she's free. And then there was a section in this book, I forgot which page it was, but she's saying like there was a girl, one of her friends dealt with like a guy asking her to come over like in the middle of the night and driving to his house. And I was like, what would you guys do? And, you know, to my girlfriends. And then they're like, oh, they just not reply. No, this book tells you how to get back to the guy. And then actually, I forgot which page it is, but I'm gonna write it in the description box below of this video of like what this guy, which page this section is. And I actually talked about this in my other video. So this book gives you a lot of the books analyze about relationship, but it doesn't tell you. It makes you understand yourself and maybe your spouse or your date or your boyfriend. This book teaches you about what to deal with when you're in the dating phase, and then like how to protect yourself and what to look out, and then actually just confirming, like I mentioned, there's 3 voices inside you. It's confirming one of your voices. So sometimes you don't want to be like too closed-minded, but sometimes you gotta protect yourself. So I really recommend this book. And I forgot to mention the other response I give out, I actually don't necessarily recommend this, but I told my girlfriend if I ever seen something like this, I would probably send them back a link of a virus, but then mask it. So I'm in the .com, so you know your destination URL could be like a website that has a virus, but then but you can mask the URL that on the text. I mean, so my girlfriend's like, oh my god, you should totally make it like myboobs.com, and then and it's a virus with the website with the virus. And I was like, okay, you're getting it. So she's like, can you send me one? And I was like, okay, all right, I'll make one for you. So if you want that too, open the description box below. And she's like, what are you gonna put with the link? I said, don't put anything, just, you know, send it back. And then if he is a naughty boy and someone that deserves a virus, they're gonna get the virus. Now if he's like a good boy, he's probably not gonna click on it. So, and oh, I think that's what happened. She said the guy asked her for a naked picture. Yeah, I think the guy, or maybe the guy didn't, or maybe the guy sent her a picture of himself being naked, I think. And she was asking me, why do guys do that? And I was like, you know, maybe they work really hard for it, so they want people to see it, or they think that's what you want to see. And she's like, but I never heard of a girl that actually said, I want to see a naked picture of a guy. And I go, I don't know either, but I think there's some out there. So anyway, so if you want to find this book, the link is below this clip. And if you want to find out about how to deal with a booty call, it's also, I'm gonna find the page link, and then it's gonna be below this description box. If you want to see my other clip about what actually happened about the booty call, it's also below this link. So there's going to be a lot of links below. And then also, if you want a link of the virus I told you, but it's gonna look like myboobs.com, or I don't know, click on mynakedpicture.com and then send them the virus. It's gonna be down below. So let me know what you guys dealt with on your date, and on your online or your dating life, traditional dating life, and what are the things that you don't know how to deal with? I mean, when I was sitting there with my girlfriend, I was like coming up with a lot of ideas, but I realized, I think when you're at home and then you're like seeing it, maybe you're just like stunned and you don't know. And I think that can probably happens to a lot of us. So I recommend this book, and if you want, send me any questions below, and I ask my girlfriends, or we'll think about it in our next girls' night out. So I hope this video was helpful. If this video is helpful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't, please follow my channel called Effortless Ruth. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, girls.